Alright, what's going on, everybody? Sean here. I got a little bit of a mobility and core workout for you today. I'm a little bit sore today. I've had a couple good workouts this week, a couple good runs. So we're going to be spending a little bit of our time on some recovery stuff. And, well, everyone can always have a strong core. So we're going to get started. You'll either need like a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, whatever you have at home. If it's baseball, softball, pretty much something that just won't completely collapse when you put some pressure on it. The harder it is, the more you'll probably feel it. So if you want to start with something a little that has a little more forgiveness to it, go right ahead. So we'll do about 30 to 60 seconds on each spot here. We'll start with our pecs, right up in this front pocket of our shoulder there, leading into a doorway or a wall, whatever you've got available to you. Take some deep breaths while we're doing this. You always want to keep breathing, never holding your breath. Play around with the position of the ball. You'll find a point where you'll get some feedback. Your body will tell you that, hey, you're pushing on something pretty good there. And just sort of hang out in that spot, 30 seconds, minute or so. The more you take some deep breaths into that position, after a while, you may feel like that muscle will start to sort of give in a little bit and help relax. Take deep breaths into the nose and force that breath out through your mouth. Alright, and we'll go around back to the shoulder now. So, back of the shoulder, up in the top sort of crease here, right up behind your armpit in a sense. Be careful, you don't want to land on any of the bony points on your scapula. It may not feel the best. Again, sort of roll around, start with light pressure, roll around, find that spot that speaks to you, and just hang out there. I'm going to move mine around a little bit. Everyone may have a different spot that sort of speaks to them a little bit more than others. And again, once you find it, take some nice deep breaths. The more you relax your surrounding muscles to wherever you're sort of giving that input right now with your ball, the easier it will be for that muscle to sort of give in, if you will, and relax and break up some of that tension or adhesion that's going on in there. The back of the shoulder, you can move your arm around a little bit. Again, start with very slow and small controlled movements. You don't want to be swinging your arm around crazy. Nice and controlled here. A few more seconds in this spot. Again, if you don't really find anything, you can go ahead and move on to the next one, which is going to be our lat. So, our latissimus dorsi, we're going to move a little bit down our torso on our side. So we were just up in the back region of our shoulder girdle here. So now we're just going to move down onto our ribs a little bit. And again, start with light pressure. Roll around, you go forward, backwards. So you're going a little bit closer towards your spine, not too far. You still want to be on the side of your torso. And again, just finding that spot where you feels like something's going on. You can roll up and down a little bit, side to side, until you feel like you found almost like a knot of tissue, per se. You may feel like if it's rolling around, it's rolling on top of and like almost snapping over that spot. Find a place where you can almost anchor that spot down. So you're not rolling over it, but you're putting consistent pressure right into it. And then you're just continuing with your deep breaths. Alright, and our last spot on the right side here, well, that's the side I started with. We are going to do our hips and our glutes here. So right below your waistline, you got your bony point of the top part of your pelvis in the front. You go bring that ball right around back and anywhere sort of around here. Again, you don't want it to go across your spine and your hips there. You want to keep it out laterally to the side here. You can go up and down a little bit across your hip. Again, everyone might have a different spot. It may be different left to right as well. So figure out what works best for you here. So your outside leg is doing the pushing and you're trying to relax. My right leg is up against the wall right now. So I'm trying to let everything in my right leg relax and let my left leg here do the pushing and adding that pressure. Always keep on breathing. No, don't hold your breath. Come around to the front of your hip a little bit more, so it's almost the ball will be directly out to your side. Playing around, see if you have any sort of tightness up in the front portion of your hip there. A few more seconds here, a couple more deep breaths, and then we're going to start it all over on the other side, whichever side you didn't start with. All right. We're also going to finish with rolling out the bottom of our feet, but I figured let's take care of everything else before you put the bottom of your feet on the ball that you're using for this here. Back up in that front corner of your chest, rolling around. Once you find your spot, just settle in for a moment, take some deep breaths. Same thing here, like with the back of our shoulder, you can do some small movements with your shoulder and your arm. I'm pulling my back around behind me right now, just to give a little bit of stimulus to the muscle that we're sort of poking on right now, if you will, trying to get it to relax a little bit more. A few more seconds on the pec here, and then we'll go around to our rear delt. So, again, back of the shoulder, right behind the armpit, and you'll need to play around for the spot that works best for you. I'm going to move on down to my lat here on my left side. Didn't really find too much up in my posterior shoulder there, so if you don't really find anything, then just move on. There's no need. We don't want to irritate any muscle that doesn't need to be irritated, right? Keep on breathing once you find your spot. For me on the left side, my lats seem to need a little bit more love than my posterior delts, but everything may be different for everyone at home. More seconds before we go down to the hip, and then we'll finish up with the bottom of our feet really quick at the end. Alright, so hip. Last one on the door or the wall, wherever you're doing this at home. Again, find that front point of your hip there, that bony point, and let that ball roll around back. Again, not letting it go over your spine here. Letting the leg close to the wall relax, while remind here the right leg is pushing into the wall. A few more seconds on the hip here, and then we'll finish up with this underneath one of each of our foot. Alrighty, gonna change my camera angle here just a little bit so you can see what's going on. Just gonna step on that ball, let it roll across right on the front portion of your foot there. You can go back and forth. Again, start with some light pressure, sort of feel what you need right now. If you don't feel much, then you know what, move on. Do something, try something else there. So you can start going back and forth along the arch, going back and forth along your big toe side, trying to let your toes extend, spread them apart as you add some pressure. And then you can work it on over to the pinky toe side, underneath the ball of your foot on the outside there, and go back and forth. Be careful going back too far on this side, as you have a bone coming down about halfway across, and that can be rather painful if you put too much pressure on there. So again, start cautiously and add more pressure as you feel you need to. Don't start by putting all of your weight on that ball at once. A few more seconds while I've got the right foot going here. And then we'll switch sides and we'll get started with some more mobility and core stuff down on the ground. Switching over to the other side, I'm starting rolling back and forth along the balls of my feet, the front part. Nice deep breaths. Keep on breathing. Again, you can start rolling on the inside portion of your foot there. Like get some snap, crackle, pops going on, the ankles and knees and whatnot, which is okay. It's all normal. The outside of the foot now, the other side. Really trying to extend those toes while you're adding some pressure. May not be the most comfortable thing at the moment, but it can provide some relief for just discomfort and tension that you may be holding in your feet and your legs and whatnot, as they do sort of bring you around everywhere you go when you're walking around. So that is good for our lacrosse ball foam rolling sort of stuff. So now we're going to move on to some things on the ground here. So in our quadruped position, we're going to start with just some cat-cow, some big deep breaths. So we're arching the back, and then we're making a big round. Toes are tucked underneath, so you have really 6 points of contact, your toes, your knees, and your hands. A big deep breath in through your nose. You're pushing your chest up and away. You're tucking your hips underneath. And a big exhale as you're coming down to an arch. Chest comes up. You're sticking your rear end out behind you. Do about 5 or so in each direction. You can do a little bit of a rock side to side. As you're pushing away in the round, you should feel some stretch up in your upper back, and then also feeling those muscles in your back contracting and working a little bit as you're going into your big arch. Do one more here. All right, quadruped rockers next. So knees are going to come up off the ground, weights on the hands and toes, and we're transferring our weight back and forth. We'll start off with 10 rockers here, letting the hips sit back, not rounding your low back, and then pushing your weight forward up over your hands. 2, 3. Think about while you're doing this, you're trying to pull your belly button back towards your spine, keeping your core engaged. All right, take a quick breather, and we got ankle rockers. So similar position, hands and toes, our knees are going to be hovering above the ground, and we are going to be straightening out our knees each time. So 10 of these here, knees are hovering, hips go back, straighten out the knees, and come back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, still pulling in your belly button towards your spine for these. 8, 9, 10. Whew. All right. Shake out the arms, a quick breather in between each of these here. If you want a quick drink of water, go right ahead. Downward dogs are next. So very similar, except we're going to be focusing on our shoulders and our back rather than our feet and legs here. So push-up position, and then pushing the chest away from you, bringing your top of your head right in front of the ground, and then back down to your push-up position. 9 more here. Feeling the muscles in your upper back working, as well as getting some stretch in your calves and your hamstrings in the back of your legs as well. Think about exhaling each time, pushing your chest up and away from you. 2 more here. All right, so next we are going to be down in our quadruped positions like we just were. Knees are going to stay in contact with the ground, and we're really focusing on building tension within our body here. Arms and legs are going to be sort of working in opposite directions. Hands are going to be thinking about pushing your weight back towards your hips, and your feet are going to be pushing you forward. So those forces are working in opposite directions, so you're essentially not moving, but your body's working pretty hard. So pushing back with the hands, forward with the feet, and you're not going anywhere. From here, you're pulling your belly button in towards your spine and keeping your core engaged. And we're raising 1 arm at a time. Straight out in front. Alternate. We're doing 10 aside, 20 total. Think about an exhale each time your hand comes up off the ground. If this feels easy, think about trying to push into the ground with your hands and your knees while you're doing this. Very nice. Don't worry about how high you're getting your arm off the ground. Worry about keeping everything except for the moving arm nice and stationary for the duration of your arm lifts there. Next, we have leg extensions. We're doing 10 on each side, 20 total. Again, we're doing them straight back behind you, and then your leg will be coming out to the side, and you'll be doing 10 raises, in each direction. So same thing, arms and legs are building tension in opposite directions, and then one leg will be working at a time. I'm going to start with the leg extensions straight behind me. So pushing up and away with the hands, pushing through my toes and knees into the ground, one leg at a time. 1, 2, again, very small movement here. Your toes are just going to be coming an inch or two up off the ground. All that movement is coming from squeezing your glute here, rather than extending your back. Chest comes up. Keep that chest down. Core is engaged. Just the hip. 2, 3, 4. Whew. All right, and now I'll switch it up, go to the side. We have our lateral leg raises. So, same quadruped position, except one leg is going out to the side at a time now. So your knee that's down on the ground can shift so that way it's directly in between your two hands. And your outside foot is raising straight up in the air. Again, it's not going to come up off the ground very far. We're resisting, leaning, and rocking, trying to get all that motion coming from our hip here. 10 aside. Here we go. Whew. All right. And 10 on the other side. Here we go. Whew. Alrighty. Leg extensions done. We're going to run through those one more time. 2 rounds of each, starting with the quadruped rockers, ankle rockers, downward dog, arm raises, and then the leg raises here too. I'll switch it up. I'll do them in the opposite direction for you for the second round. I'm just going to run through them this time. Follow along at home, and then we'll move on and finish with our core here. So, quadruped rockers, knees up, back and forth. Alright, shake out the arms for a moment, quick breather, and then we got our ankle rockers. Alright, straighten out those knees. Whew. Alrighty, downward dogs, 10 of those there, starting in push-up position, pushing the hips back here. raises, leg extensions, and we're moving on to the core. Here we go. I'll do these facing straight on this time. Shake it up, right? Why the heck not? All right. Building tension. You're pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Whew. All right. Leg extensions. Straight out behind you. 10 a leg. All right. And our leg abduction. Now we're moving on to our core. Finish with a quick core circuit. Whew. 10 in each direction. Your middle knee or your knee that's down the ground is splitting the difference in between your hands. Ooh. All right, last one here. Whew. All righty. Grab a drink if you need it. Catch your breath for a moment, and then we are starting with some core. Well, we're going to finish with some core today. So we have dead bugs, a single leg bridge, a side plank with abduction, lots of abducting today, and then a tripod plank. So one hand, both feet. It's going to be freaking great. Okay, so starting with our dead bugs down on our back. Both hands and feet are going to be up in the air, and opposite limbs are working together here. So right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg will be working together. Heads down on the ground, hips are curled up towards you, so you're eliminating that arch in your low back. Hands and knees are up in the air. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Nice and slow. Find a good tempo so you're extending out and bringing your limbs back together for an equal period of time. We're going for 12 total, 6 on each side here. Last 2 here. Alrighty. And then we got our single leg bridge. So, still down on your back. One leg at a time, you're pushing through your heel. And your other leg is going to be straight up in the air, right underneath your hip. So we got 10 bridges aside. You can plant your arms down to the ground next to you to give you a little bit of balance and support here. Hips go all the way up. You're keeping your core engaged, pulling your belly button back. Let them down nice and slow. And pushing up and away. 3, 4, all right, switch over to the other leg. Make sure that foot's planted nice and down to the ground, and you're pushing mostly through your heel here to get those hips up. Here we go. Alrighty, 10 bridges a leg, and we have our side plank with abduction here. So, down on one of your sides, you got your elbow and your bottom knee. Top leg is going to be nice and straight. Your top foot is pulled back behind you here. Hips are coming up and away from the ground, and as you come up with the hips, your top leg will raise, straight up into the air at the top of each. 10 bridges aside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Alrighty. Switch over to your other side. 10 bridges over here. Again, bottom leg is bent. The foot's pulled back behind you. Top leg nice and straight. Top leg comes up in the air as the hips come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Oh, alrighty, tripod plank. Grab a timer, or you can just listen to me, either or. We got 20 seconds on each arm here. So, nice wide feet. One hand's gonna be right in the middle, and you're pushing that chest up and away from the ground. Alrighty. 20 seconds on each side. Get a stopwatch going from there. Alrighty, I'm starting with my left arm, getting the tougher side out of the way. Here we go. Go ahead. 20 seconds started. Five seconds to go. Good, and switch over to the other arm. Last 5 to go here. All right, go ahead and rest. Grab a quick drink of water, and then we got 2 more rounds, starting up with our dead bugs. Down on your back, opposite limbs extending together. 12 total, 6 on each side, nice and slow and controlled. Tempo is the name of the game here. All right, down on your back, opposite arm, opposite leg. All right. 12 dead bugs. Bridges next. We got 10 bridges on each leg here. Other leg is going straight up in the air. I'm starting with my left. That's the one I finished with last time. Arms can be planted right down by your side. You're tucking your hips up, eliminating that arch in your low back here. Here we go. Right, 10 on the other leg. All right. One bridge down, the other to go. Side plank bridges. Starting on the side that I finished with, just because. Shake it up. Here we go. 10 bridges on each side. Your top leg is raising straight up in the air at the top of each side plank bridge here. Ooh. All right. 10 on the right. Flip over. We got 10 on the left here. Bottom leg, pull that foot back behind you. Pushing through that knee and your elbow. Ooh. All right. Tripod plank. Grab my timer. 20 seconds aside, and then we got one round left. Here we go. I'm starting with the left again. That is my weaker side, so I'm getting it done and over with. Here we go. 20 seconds. 5 seconds to go. Good. Switch. Last 5 seconds here. Good, and rest. Alrighty. Whew, got me sweating. One last round. Start with our dead bugs. 12 total, 6 on each side. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Whew. Here we go. Tuck those hips up. Keep that core engaged. Eliminating that arch in your low back here. Whew. Bridges, excuse me, dead bugs, done. Bridges now. 10 a leg, pick whichever one you want to start with. I know, right? Crazy. Get my left done and over with. We'll finish with the right here. 10 bridges. All right. 10 on the right now. All right. Ooh. A little sweat in the eye there. All right. Side plank bridges. 10 aside. Starting with the left here. Oh. All right. 10 on the right. And then just our tripod planks. Ready. Oh, alrighty. This is it. Last 40 seconds. Goodness gracious. Alrighty. Starting with the right this time. Did my left arm first, both times for the last 2 sets. Switch it up for the last one, huh? Here we go. 20 seconds. Let's go. $15 down, last 5 to go. All right, switch. Last 5 seconds to go. And rest. Whew. Alrighty. Great job, everybody. Keep on moving for a few minutes. Don't sit down, settle in quite yet. Keep moving, cool down for a moment. And great job, everyone. I hope that loosened you up and got you moving a little bit today. And we'll see you next time.